Hello and welcome to GW Prime, your Where is Here. On this auspicious occasion of 257th anniversary of Survey of India, the second oldest geospatial agency in the world, we also take pleasure in celebrating 27th Foundation Day of Geospatial World. It's more of a coincidence and very fortunate one that Geospatial World shares its birthday with Survey of India. Though we are just 230 years younger. Though age is just a number, but in this case, longevity of continued relevance of inherent role and relevance of Survey of India speaks about its value and the science of cartography and geographic approach to civilization. And also so as mission of geospatial world, making a difference through geospatial knowledge in world economy and society. Well, aligning with market directions and trends, Geospatial World is pleased to announce two new initiatives. Firstly, we herewith bring you JW Prime Live, a visual media, which is the media of the next generation, a platform for global geospatial community to present and discuss latest developments in the field, in the industry, or use cases, or the public policies. We'd also provide you daily news bulletin with analytics. And it's not necessary that you have to just watch it live, but being live is fun. It's real. Then we get into on-demand availability because of different time zones in the world. Secondly, we are also proud to bring you yet another first, the Geospatial Resource Platform that would serve as a qualified information about important stakeholders of ever-evolving and growing geospatial industry ecosystem. To begin with, we have released 3 modules, including company profiles, user profiles, and case studies. This goes live at 5 p.m. India Standard Time. It's a gigantic effort from our team to bring you organized, curated, qualified, comprehensive, and yet representative information about commercial companies, users, best practices, and in coming months, we would not only significantly increase the number of entries, but update the same on annual basis, and also add new modules to serve you better. Thank you. Today, when we start GW Prime Live, as I said, it's 257th anniversary of Survey of India. It couldn't be more appropriate but to have with us Srikant Sastry ji. Srikant Sastry is industrialist. He has been business leader, very keenly interested in academics. He was very actively involved during the COVID times to address about the ventilators project. And now, in his new role, he is the chairman of Geospatial Data Promotion and Development Committee, Government of India. As you know that Government of India has brought out geospatial policy, and the implementation of that policy lies on the shoulders of Srikant ji. Welcome, Srikant ji.
Thank you. First of all, congratulations for your Foundation Day. And I must tell you this unplanned coincidence. You spoke about Survey of India's Foundation Day and Geospatial World's Foundation Day. As it happened, last 2 days I spent at Survey of India headquarters in Dehradun, and today I'm spending with you. Completely unplanned, but it signifies the fact that all the stars are getting aligned. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you very much. So Srikant ji, I'd just like to know from you, what are the initiatives and strategies which you are going to make in short term, and what are the long term goals?
So the committee got formed less than 4 months ago. So the past 4 months, I've tried to be in a listening and learning mode with the committee members because I've been an outsider coming into this industry. Uh, I started my learning journey at your GW Artha Summit at Goa, and I would have done 150 meetings with different stakeholders in the last 3.5 months. But the good news is, and this is partly thanks to the fact that elections are happening and the government is committed to a certain set of plans to be rolled out in the first 100 days. So that also has made it important for us to demonstrate quick wins, early short-term results. So broadly speaking, by July 1st, we hope to have the pilot version of the UGI, or the Unified Geospatial Interface technology, through which data can be made available to stakeholders. We'll have at least a version 1 of that out. In addition, it's not just a piece of technology that will sit there. We're taking about 3 different sectors. Agriculture is one, transportation, logistics is the second one, third is livelihoods and jobs. We're actually going to, and we've already engaged in conversations with multinationals, large corporates, unicorn startups, and smaller startups to say, can you come and work with us in 4 states that we're going to identify as a phase 1 of rollout, one each in north, south, east, and west. So we'll actually look at it as a sandbox to say through this interface, we'll make data available from various government silos, use this data to show that you can generate economic value. So if it's agriculture, run an application which actually shows that I can increase yield for farmers, or I can make it easy to do lending and insurance to farmers. In transportation, can I find ways to reduce the logistics costs, particularly for trucking freight, for example?
Yeah.
Jobs, can I find a way to easily match make employers and employees, for example? So that's the plan for July 1st. Ambitious plan, racing against time, but fingers crossed.
Wonderful that you are already at the target deadlines, and your first deadline is the 1st July. Let's move a little bit more towards the core essence of the geospatial policy, which is industrial development. What do you think about the potential of Indian industry growth, which will be fueled by the policy reforms?
So when you say growth of industry, I would actually look at it in 2 parts. One is the industry as we understand it, people in this room, people who are part of a solution provider industry, hardware or software. That's the geospatial industry. Those are the people I met at your Artha Summit in Goa. I think for them, I can see big growth over the next 5 years. And why do I say that? Because Survey of India is mandated to create and revamp the foundational infrastructure, geodetic reference frame, geoid model, ORI for the whole country, digital elevation model, DEM for the entire country. Most of that work is going to be outsourced to industry or the private sector, and that is big budget. So that's one big source of business. And at Goa, we heard from all the private sector players that how can we get more business from government, and this is there for them. But for me, the bigger outcome is that when we open up use cases in various sectors, agriculture, transportation, livelihoods, healthcare, all the private sector companies, large MNCs, corporates, and startups will come and build applications. And when they do that, they will once again need the service providers from the geospatial industry to come and help them. So that is market expansion. So besides bidding for government projects, this market growth that will happen simply because of the explosion of use cases, that is the second growth opportunity for the industry.
Oh, that's very nice that you're talking about the whole geospatial industry ecosystem, making it a kind of a circular economy where the solutions and services which you are going to invest into beginning will actually yield more results for recreating the market opportunities. So do you also see a role for the commercial companies to be kind of data products companies?
Absolutely, purely because there's so much of data that's going to be made available. And one of the most interesting opportunities is that from a geospatial data standpoint, almost every government department has data of relevance, soil data, hyperlocal weather data, highway data, where are the skill centers, where are the hospitals. A lot of this data, thanks to the regulation in the past, was kept closely guarded by various government departments. So as part of our July 1 rollout, that data is going to be made available, hopefully through the UGI technology interface, but we recognize the challenge that a lot of the data is not necessarily harmonized. They may not lend themselves to APIs in the short term. So for the July 1 rollout, we're actually willing to work in a semi-offline mode also. So if a company in agri-tech says, I want to build a data product and not easily available through an API, we will physically say, look at the soil department or the IMD and say, we'll get the data and give it to you. But in general, data products, I think the sky is the limit.
So you are saying that, you will kind of push the organization to follow the policy and make data available as and what.
That's right.
Instead of getting into harmonization. First thing is that they should make that data available. Harmonization can take.
Harmonization is the parallel track. There are standards being laid out. See, also the other challenge in harmonization is in the absence of a standard geodetic reference framework, people are creating geospatial data without a reference point. And therefore, data may not talk to each other. But that's fine. We don't live in a perfect world. Take the data as is and use it. It'll take us a few years to get the geodetic reference framework up and running. And therefore, the harmonization will happen over a period of time.
That's great approach. I think that, let's start rather than plan and wait. So where do you see if some organization is not willing to share its data and we as industry want to have that data access, what is the remedy available with you which we can come to?
The remedy is to understand human behavior well. One of the famous economists won a Nobel Prize for the nudge theory. So while the policy mandates that every government department which has generated data from public funds is required to make it available, but you know that it's easier said than done. There could be excuses, there could be inertia, there could be just other priorities. They might be busy with hundreds of other things. So I think fundamental for all of us who've been in business, we know that follow-up, nudges, we don't live in a perfect world. You can't assume that I send a mail with a request for data and it's going to come to you. So we'll find enough ways to keep nudging people and hopefully some of
So your doors are open to all.
Doors are open to all.
What do you think, what is the message which you want to give it to the international community who are more willing to invest and be partner here quickly in 30 seconds?
So I think in the short term, there's a big opportunity for people who are solution providers and service providers, simply because there are so many projects that are going to be out there which need execution. So that's one big opportunity. Second is when we're laying the foundational infrastructure, when Survey of India does that, there's going to be a lot of hardware, software that's going to get consumed. And that's the second opportunity for international players. And you know it, I know it, that very little of that was manufactured in India. We just haven't had the scale.
Yeah.
In the long term, we'll look at making India an R&D hub, manufacturing hub, sell to the world. But in the short term, I think it's an opportunity for international players.
Thank you very much, Srikanth. It's been great to have you with us in our studio. Thank you very much.
And all the best again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
A visionary who firmly placed India on the global map of engineering, research and development services, Dr. PVR Mohan Reddy is one of the most successful Indian first-generation entrepreneurs. Dr. Reddy has dedicated his life to mapping and its integration with business intelligence, engineering utilities and infrastructure industry for over 30 years. After economic reforms opened up the Indian market, Dr. Reddy foresaw tremendous potential for engineering and R&D services. He founded Cyient, earlier Infotech Enterprises, in 1991 with a vision to create innovation and R&D-led engineering services company that would significantly contribute to India's economy by exporting world-class engineering services. He established the Engineered in India brand and led science to contribute more than $5 billion in cumulative exports to over 300 global clients, including many Fortune 100 companies. His efforts led to the creation of jobs for engineering professionals across 19 countries. Being a pioneer in the Indian IT and IT-enabled services industry, Dr. Reddy has a deep understanding of the industry pain points and has been advocating for the right kind of policy environment. He worked closely with governments on nationwide initiatives such as Make in India, Digital India, cybersecurity and smart cities. Dr. Reddy received the prestigious Padma Shri, the fourth highest civilian award by the Government of India in 2017 for his contributions to the Indian industry, among his many other local and international accolades. His exemplary entrepreneurial leadership of building and successfully transferring science to next generation leadership has provided inspiration and guidance to several thousand worldwide.
Welcome back to GW Prime. We have just heard Srikanji, who left the stage at a point of international collaboration and international business opportunities. Now we have with us Dr. Mohan Reddy. We just saw a video about him. It made my life very easy because it was too difficult for me, a tall order for me to introduce him. Dr. Reddy, when we saw this video, one thing which actually caught my attention was $5 billion of exports, which your company has done. Probably more than that, I guess. How do you see India can build on that platform which you have provided and become a global hub of geospatial industry?
Thank you, Sanjay, for inviting me today. Many congratulations for celebrating your 27th Foundation Day. Many congratulations on launching the GW Prime today. The amazing growth path has been with you and your company, and we wish you many more years of success. Having said that, 7 years what we've done so far is to build a global multinational out of India. The $5 billion we referred to probably is now rated about $7.5 billion in water stores. A part of it is from geospatial industry important one. And not only us, if you look at state geospatial industry, I think they have done a very good job in terms of addressing the global requirements, where it was feasible for us. One thing that I think we in industry have scaled up very well is in terms of creating digital data for companies all around the world and governments all around the world. Number of governments that I am aware of where we were involved in the company, we have created land databases for nations altogether. A very good example, and I can talk to people, is that we have a history of 500 years of city of London. To go backwards to swarms of acreage and acreage, down to about ownership now 200 yards. The whole history is there. My dream is that countries like India should get down there. But it's not just the downfield winners, but we look at the industries which have been the initial forerunners of using geospatial. Industries like energy, industries like telecom, industries like transportation. I think there's an enormous amount of contribution that is done by the company. But if you just come to the story, our involvement was in 2 or 3 different levels, making like digital. One was definitely providing digitalization service. The second one is with several exceptions where we have provided solutions to customers. It's not just my company, or the third one is there were a few innovations which were also number of interventions that we run.
Yep.
We just heard Mr. Srikanth Shanti talk about the initiative of chairing but for India to become the global hub, make sure the initiatives just talked about, several more things that will happen. And this will come from multi-stakeholder, the multi-stakeholder initiatives that have to happen. So the industry to happen, right? From the global hub for geospatial industry, industry has to participate. But people want to be the other stakeholders, which are the policymakers, the educators, and it's also the market dynamics that have to work in order to ensure we grow this industry to where it is. So let's look at each one of them separately. The manpower is one of the biggest challenges that I see,
Yep.
and I'm spending a lot of time on that. It certainly requires a fairly large amount of capacity in making sure that we get the potential of the hub.
Yep.
Today we produce something like about 11 lakh undergrad technology students. But I think a very small percentage of them are truly from the geospatial
Yep.
background. So we need to create that capacity because what we did was digitization was from the skilling people and the lower skills that were required. And this is digitization. Or there's some amount of software technology. So we have to do capacity building of geospatial skilled workers in this country of a different kind. And the different kind is that we also have to do some amount of research work
Yeah.
to bring in research to breakthroughs, which will then after lead to innovation. Innovation will lead to solution. So therefore, I think the second step was the capacity building of manpower, focus on R&D to bring more about innovation in the country, and that innovation has thereafter moving to startups.
Yeah.
And we've seen startups actually moving to more and more innovation too.
Yeah. It's again a circular way of looking at the whole ecosystem.
So a combination of these things that I talked about, building TV startups for promotion, are the ones which I think are the elements, not all the elements that we talked about now, some of the elements
Yeah.
that
So, Dr. Reddy, first of all, I'm very happy to be corrected that you have $7.5 billion of exports which you have done for the economy of India, as well as a lot of employment and other capabilities which you actually been part of. So we have seen host of policy reforms taken by the government of India, be it drone policy, space policy, geospatial policy, data protection policy, and AI strategy, deep ocean strategy. There's a holistic view of the technology reforms, I would say, taking place. And we have traditionally been IT nation. So do you see that these policies and IT capabilities are going to further augment the geospatial industry, momentum?
for sure. And I'd like to further amplify what you said. There are a number of policies that the government is coming out with, but that is in line with the changing scenario that's happening. Technology has become more pervasive. Technology is now accelerating, it's amplifying itself with lots of applications. In geospatial too, if you look at it, there's so many new applications that were there that are coming in at this point. I could not imagine 10 years back that an agriculturist would use precision agriculture to make sure that he can understand his crop much better than he would do by standing on one of the banks of the crop. Or second is we can do more about urban planning in creating the geospatial database. Or today, I think we can also do the digital things by which we are in a position to make sure that we can have much better, efficient planning processes. So the policies the government is thinking about that are in line with what the requirements are. And I think they're very much required at this point in time. And if we probably can implement these policies well, we certainly have a chance to become the global hub.
Thank you. So recently, Dr. Reddy, the Ministry of External Affairs, their new and emerging technology division has included geospatial into the new and emerging technology promotions. And we have GDPTC, we have InSpace. These are the promotional institutions which has been created. You have been part of industry, you have been part of advising the government, you have been the chairman of NASCOM, the leading IT organization, as well as you are chairman of the government governing body of the educational institutions. What more do you think that the government can do to promote India as a destination in the field of geospatial sector?
I think, one has to say policies, the policies are I think where the government support is required is making sure that we implement them. The implementation rigor has to come into place. It can't be just the government which has to make that rule straight. All stakeholders have to come to this. But I think the government's role is to create an awareness and create the emergency of rolling out these policies. For instance, we talked about how does IT now play a role in geospatial. Today, people don't call it IT any longer because technology in the past would provide information. That now the normal phase of information technology came into place. But now technology which is having place in every facet of the life. So if you look at India, the first time we the partnership section, in 2018, when we started introducing digital technologies like AI, ML, AR, VR, 3D printing, blockchain, all of those came into our education system only in 2018. But then thereafter, once the knowledge is coming in, the application has to go inside with it. Application, whether it's in agriculture, whether it's in healthcare, whether it's in urban planning, or it's in infrastructure or logistics, all of those. So I think the government's role is in terms of creating the policies, creating that level of awareness, creating the infrastructure, and motivating people to start executing them. I think a key to it will be executing them. But I quickly add two other things. One is that the government also has to help in terms of creating the market access. Market access is important because all said and done, if you look at geospatial, a big user of them is government. And government is win the world.
Exactly.
That's how it works. The second one is as much as innovation can drive startups, startups can also drive innovation. Both ways we talk about. So therefore, I think the startup policies have to become a lot more easier. The ease of doing business has to improve a lot more for startups to ensure that they will also move into geospatial. I'm sure the numbers are there. There were about 215 startups which are done in 2022 was the number of doing, which is a very good start for us, a very good beginning for us. But what we need is a nation like India with 1.4 billion people, a lot more startups as a number. And there's an opportunity in geospatial. I think a lot more of them have come.
Thank you very much, sir. It has been pleasure talking to
you.
you on
Thank
this, hosting you on GW Prime. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to GW Prime Line, Geospatial World's new interactive forum for innovative ideas and discussions on the trending issues in the field of all that is geospatial. Today, the world is facing innumerable challenges in achieving a sustainable future. The 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, adopted by UN member states in 2015, provides a shared blueprint for peace and prosperity. At its heart are the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. Achieving these goals requires powerful tools. Geospatial innovation steps in with geospatial technologies that include satellite imagery, GIS, and remote sensing. I am your host, Jeffy Jacob, for this session on geospatial innovation and SDGs. The panelists in this session are Mr. Saurabh Rai, CEO of Arahas Technology. Arahas Technology is a geospatial company offering indigenous and sustainable solutions. And we have also Ms. Deepti Dutt, a consultant at World Bank. Thank you for being here. The 17 Sustainable Development Goals cover a wide range of issues, from tackling poverty, hunger, to promoting clean energy, education, and equality, and to addressing climate change and building a more sustainable future. So my question is, how can geospatial technologies like GIS, remote sensing, and GPS be integrated into the monitoring and achievement of these SDGs? Sir, could you?
Thank you. A great question, actually. See, number one, SDGs are all pervasive, and I need not emphasize how important it is for us to create a sustainable future for ourselves and generations to come. Now, being specific on SDGs and how all the location technologies that you mentioned, they work. I mean, talk of any SDG, talk of food, which is SDG 2, talk of city sustainability, which is SDG 11, talk of climate action, SDG 30. They all have a location requirement, right? From what, where, and in what time duration. And spatial technologies are temporal. So the initial planning, the thinking where the action starts, has to start from a geospatial technology. Now comes the next stage. Let's look at SDG in health. And we just passed through a challenging, nightmarish time in COVID. I mean, where the actions have to be taken. How do you define all your strategies? How do you define all the logistics of vaccines and people movement, so on and so forth? Again, all the movement, transportation, so on and so forth, are very critically dependent on GIS and the technologies that you mentioned. Let's move one step further. And you also mentioned innovation when you talked. Any innovative technology cannot rely on anything other than the location, which is so critical. Talk of from Earth to Mars to even people are mapping Moon now. So innovation, sustainability, and the worst fear of it all, sustainability, as I generally say, is very closely linked to our fear of disaster. And look in the challenging times of so many disasters happening all over the world. Again, the location, the knowledge of what is happening, where it is happening in a certain time frame, and what are the insights. Now the good news here, in innovation, the technology and the usage of technologies has improved considerably. So now what we can think of, a very faster, quicker insight, rather than just having a plain vanilla map of yesteryears, or maybe having a map on a mobile. Today we can get insights outside, inside a building, under the ground, or even under the oceans for that matter. And all this changes how these technologies can be deployed. And as you rightly pointed, we can see a tremendous number of organizations, individuals, non-government organizations, and different bodies using GIS in performing different tasks towards sustainability. It's there to stay. Rather, it will become a mainstay of everything that you are going to see in today and in future.
Can you elaborate a bit?
Sure. The geospatial layer, in my mind, provides essentially a visualization layer. Helps you get situational awareness. So now, whether a lot of SDGs that have been talked about, whether it's no poverty, zero hunger, health and well-being, education. For each of these, you need to know where your beneficiaries are, how to reach your beneficiaries, where to set up your service delivery centers, be it schools, healthcare centers, your ration shop, whatever, right? How do you set those up so that you can optimally reach beneficiaries or beneficiaries can reach you, right? So that's kind of a, the planning for the social infrastructure part. Then if you look at SDGs like clean water and sanitation, clean energy, industry innovation, infrastructure, sustainable cities and communities, if you look at all of them, right? Uh, they're essentially, whether you want to plan physical infrastructure, whether you want to do an investment versus outcome kind of an analysis, how much solar power you can generate and things like that, and other policy intervention, right? For all of them, again, geospatial layer, analytics around it, that becomes very important. If you look at SDGs like life under sea, doesn't that sound like bathymetry, right? Or climate action that we talk about. So again, analytics, that your geo AI, that's really emerging area now. That's essential. That's kind of will become synonymous with many of these SDGs. And an interesting example, if I can share, one of the African countries, West African countries, Togo, during COVID, they had a program called Novisi. They are not as advanced in technology as many other countries are, but they used OpenStreetMap, geospatial data actually during COVID to identify where people are located, how to get benefit transfer done to them, how to get food supplies reach to them, and things like that. So if I would look at a two-dimensional approach from SDGs perspective, tracking and monitoring, right? And from geospatial technology perspective, just getting locational awareness versus, the actual analytics part of it, right? If you just combine all of them, I think all any SDG that one double clicks, there's a huge scope for one to get into solving, identifying actual problems that can be solved using geospatial technology, and then getting into depth of it.
Good response. Speaking of sustainable cities, Aras Technology is collaborating with Ayodhya Development Authority in transforming Ayodhya into a world-class Vedic sustainable city. Could you share with us some plans to leverage geospatial technologies in aligning with the United Nations SDGs?
That was a very interesting test, I would say, on a model city of Ayodhya, where the government and the industry proved that together we can take forward-looking measures of producing a city's report card, a very challenging report card on a quarterly basis. I mean, where do we really stand in terms of SDGs for a city in a very localized fashion? So talk of it greenery, talk of it waste and sanitation, talk of a variety of other sustainable SDG 11 and 13 parameters. We will talk of air quality for that matter. We know exactly now how the city is changing with the influx of tourists. There is a transitionary population coming in and going, a lot of industrialization that is happening. Now, what needs to be done is generate insights. The data is generated, as Deepti just pointed, the visualization layer is there, the insights layer is coming. So, to give you an example, we know exactly there are certain areas where construction activity is creating a lot of air pollution. Now, what do you do about it? Green vehicles are the answer. And the city has taken a bold step to come with 100% green vehicles in the city in next couple of years. Now, those are the power of insights that spatial technologies can generate. Where do you start? From where do you do the pilot? How do you see the results being manifested? Now, the challenge with us and of course different governments is how do you take it to more such cities? Ayodhya was a case in point. It can be developed, it can be demonstrated, and the willingness is shown and it's there for everybody to see. So now the idea is how do you take it to 100 more Indian cities and perhaps a lot many more cities in global south as well as in the developed world.
That is correct. Ms. Deepti, can you share any observations from other countries in an adoption of geospatial technologies that may provide some pointers to the Indian geospatial ecosystem in tackling SDGs?
Recently I've been interacting with quite a few countries from global south, mainly regarding digital ID projects. And I was actually very surprised. In India, we talk about proof of address. It's basically helping them implement Aadhaar like systems, right? Proof of address is such an integral thing to us. And when I kept talking of proof of address, they were not able to relate to it. And then I discovered that they don't have the concept of proof of address because they don't have the concept of addressing system itself, right? And that made me realize that what a privilege we have in our country to have an addressing system where 2 decades back we could send letters and money orders to today instant home deliveries through Blinkit and Zomato and the likes, right? And I think that the just how biometric forms backbone of digital ID system, geospatial will form backbone of the modern addressing system, right? And I'm talking about more what Indian ecosystem can go and do in other countries. Yeah. So whether it's looking at modernizing, helping these countries develop an addressing system, it will be leapfrogging for them, just how India leapfrogged from no ID to digital ID, totally skipped the paper-based ID. I think there is a scope for many of the countries in global south to move from no addressing system to a digital addressing system, which will be underpinned by geospatial layer. Similarly, earlier I talked about all the SDGs, each of them where there are certain problems that can be solved through geospatial technology. So what I would urge is that Indian geospatial ecosystem should actually look at specific problems, how they can be solved in a short period of time, low hanging fruits, how you can demonstrate these as benefits. Probably the future is of DPGs, DPIs, how we can get into that and take that to global south. There's a huge market out there.
Speaking of DPIs and DPGs, can you demystify what DPIs are and how can it impact the geospatial sector?
Yeah, very good question. A lot of talk a lot, and it's a very interesting component, right? DPG or digital public good, and DPI is a digital public infrastructure, right? So DPGs are essentially open standards based, reusable digital assets that solve societal problem or that help you achieve your SDGs. And an implementation of an SDG is an implementation of a DPG is a DPI, digital public infrastructure. So, for example, Aadhaar is a DPI for India. Then from Aadhaar, people picked up some components and MOSIP was developed as a DPG platform, which other countries are adopting now. Similarly, UPI is a DPI for us, right? Which other countries is getting exported as a DPG, and when they implement it, becomes a DPI for them. That's the concept of DPG, DPI. Key characteristics of DPI is what's important to note here is they are kind of they're modular in nature, they are open source based, they serve like building blocks, they're interoperable, right? So you can assemble what you need and let others innovate on top of that. Those are essential components of DPI. Now, today we talk about DPGs and DPIs more in context of digital ID, payment system, social registry, and things like that. But I strongly believe that, geospatial has a huge role to play there. Geospatial solution itself needs to be positioned today or tomorrow. It will happen that geospatial solutions becoming a DPG, DPI. It's people here that how do we fast track that journey? How do we really bring geospatial in the DPG DPI lingo?
Okay, thank you. We just had a panel discussion on geospatial's role in implementation of SDGs. Thank you, Mr. Saurabh and Ms. Deepti Dutt, for your insights. Thank you.
Very good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to GW Prime Live Conversations. I'm Abhishek Kotangle, and today our topic of discussion is geospatial for AI integration, its pathways and challenges. AI has become a force for industries transforming how organizations operate and make the decisions. By integrating spatial data and geographic context into AI systems, location intelligence provides a valuable insights and enhanced accuracy. And to discuss this topic in detail, we have one of our very industry stellars and experts, one of the upcoming startups, Mr. Krishanu from Suhora Technologies. welcome on GW Prime Live. So starting the conversation, Krishanu, how can geospatial and AI integration spawn innovation in traditional sectors that will lead to the development of a conducive indigenous ecosystem?
That shows the way where we as industry are looking at you, and will be, those are the good ones will be like. Coming back to, what you asked me, I'm not an AI expert. We do use a bit of AI here and there in our application, in our solutions. That's what we do. For AI for us, can be AI, ML, deep learning, that's high throughput together. When I refer to I think we are real time and is as a rapid integration of expertise of the data. Those are the areas I think we as a company foresee few areas that AI again quote unquote AI can support us. First, the real timeliness of the data analytics, because we do analyze quite a bit of different sensors. We bring all types of imaging capabilities, something of opticals are thermal. We are talking up with say alien with intelligence information. So that needed to be rendered together, and that requires a huge computing also different sensor agnostic of those are the areas. Second, of course, detections, classifications, and identification. So as we time and again come back to different use cases, detection is a huge thing, sir, and of course we've had that. But that's where I guess new age computations, machines trained, extraction of the information can be a major role. And also, the tasking, we say, collections when we require certain data. That's where we have created a solution where it goes depending on the situation on the ground. It captures certain information. Depending on the situation, we sensors download, we sensor the task, analyze, and give it solution. So those are the areas where I think traditional approach we used to do with manpower. We are getting augmented with AI. We are not a fully AI based thing, but happily can say AI augmented human intelligence. That's what it is.
Great. So as you said, satellite imagery data has been profoundly used in the industries in various types and various ways. And Sohora has developed a platform that combines AI with satellite imagery and especially for the defense sector. So Krishano, defense data is very sensitive. And how you think that AI integration comes into this picture given this backdrop?
So sensitive, of course, defense intelligence or wherever it's in human life, it's connected. It's very sensitive. Right? So fortunately, we are working. Fortunately or unfortunately, defense intelligence and disaster, both of them were human. This touches human life, right? Yeah. So for the defense and intelligence, this is sensitive in two ways. One, we have to keep the data information which pertaining to these particular say analytics for certain extracting has to be kept secure. That's one, right? And I'm pretty sure that's the cybersecurity zone though. But cybersecurity is something where it's a lot of innovation is happening in the last 20 decades, and even it's one of the best time where the data security, the encryption, what you can think of, that's are there. So in those areas, we are going with the standard practices, the standards adopted by different companies, different organizations. Those are we are going ahead with. But the second side of sensitivity is because whatever the analytics or say information intelligence we are extracting, that has a very big impact of what happens with that particular information. Right? You give out certain information, say something happened somewhere. That has a huge implications for what happens with that information. So force get mobilized, something decide. So that's where I think we are trying our as I said, detections, classification things. Those are limited to AI's applications are limited to those areas only. But extracting the juice out of it, those detections and all, we are trying to augment again the human intelligence with AI. But I think there's a huge check and bounce bounds we have to keep in between, because as I said, it's very sensitive in nature, because what happens with that information, depending on the accuracy side of it, it's changes the scenario.
True, very true. And defense, after defense, as you said, the disaster is again a very important sector where this is being profoundly used by through climate changing patterns and even the insurance claims and the damage assessments. So how do you think the Suhura and your platform, you see the AI as a possibility to overcome, and how you think that you are contributing to it?
So a couple of ways, of course, bringing this rapid expertise and capability that was not available till now. Again, for me, AI means AI plus something, right?
Yeah.
So that huge expectations, I'll say rapid expectations of the data is something that we are right now using. Second, passing on certain information to the users the way they need, hyperlocal information. So we are trying to work with certain industry here. We can discuss those data, but sharing certain information catering to that particular level of people is something we're also adopting certain AI technology. Again, that's a very basic or say initial side of it. We'll be looking forward to investing more time and resources on that. So it becomes more near real time, becomes real time at certain point of time. But yeah, so that's
yeah, that's very well said. And of course, now you're moving towards building up solutions. So what you think that what are the challenges that adaptation of AI is there, and how how it is the challenges are there to build up and customize end-to-end solutions for Indian companies in India.
So challenges, again, I'm not a AI, specialist, but so I'll say coming up with any infrastructure or say planning of doing something requires requires a certain way of looking at it, right? One is of course the compliance and legal framework of it. That's government of India right now with the new policies that they are coming up. I'm pretty sure we're gonna take care of that. Second, of course, the technical viability, because AI implementations of AI requires a huge investment of the infrastructure as well. Train something, keep on training up to a level that it becomes usable in your application, right? So those are the investment areas. Again, it's a challenge. Right types of data, labeling data, those kind of information, right? Sort of data is again still a challenge. Manpower is a huge problem as of now. We keep on talking about certain applications, but we require manpower, right? I was talking about the skilling India, so we will be so those are the challenges as of now. And I'll say next challenge is our I'll say readiness, right?
Yes.
We keep on thinking that AI gonna take away job from people, and I don't think we have a laser as of now to looking at what is going on at the global scale. We have to embrace the AI to take care, but we'll change our mindset that it's gonna take away my job.
Yeah.
Two, it's gonna amplify my job. So that's what challenges, but
That's true. And of course, how you think that the combined power of geospatial and AI is going to do betterment for social good?
yeah, so the geospatial again, it's though I think it's a traditional applications areas, right? Always geospatial been ESRI, those of the applications, it's always been the core of these applications, algorithms, workflows, right? We have to look means and ways how we can augment certain capabilities using AI, new types of algorithms with highest precision, high speed. And if so, passing on those informations to the right kind of users in a near real-time manner through certain collaboration with NGOs, governments, industries, and do betterment of our society. That's what my personal feeling.
Very pertinent points, Krishanu. Any closing remarks from your side? on this
Uh,
topic?
Right. Thank you. I think we are at the very initial stage of utilizing AI in our geospatial Earth observation application. We have to keep our mind open and try to embrace how the future unfolds in front of us. And we are a lifelong learner, and we'll be learning and executing the same for our. That's what I'll say.
Great. Well, Krishanu, it was very great having you here, and thank you for taking out time and sharing your insights on this very crucial topic. And welcome to Viewers. Thank
A very good afternoon to everyone, and welcome to GW Prime Live, an interactive forum for discussions and ideas. In the year 1991, a rather watershed year for Indian economy as well as the world, American software engineer David Galanter wrote a prescient book titled Mirror Worlds, or The Day Software Puts the Universe in a Shoebox, which came up with a neologism, digital twin, that more than 3 decades later is at the forefront of technology advancement and shows us the power of modeling, simulations, and visualizations. Today, from Singapore to Spain, countries around the world are scrambling to build digital twins, which are accurate 3D simulations and data repositories of a country. The utility of a digital twin is manifold in offering actionable insights and improving decision making across sectors. To discuss more, we welcome Sajid Malik, CEO of Genesis International, a leading Indian mapping, surveying, and geospatial solutions company. A warm welcome to you, sir.
Thank you, Aditya.
So we'll start with the first question on how do you think, sir, digital twins would boost Indian socio-economic development?
So I think that in your preamble introducing the technology itself, a lot of that answer was, the question was answered in your preamble. I think needless to say, it's pretty intuitive and commonsensical to say that if you were to have a digital twin, be it for a product, and in this case, we are making it for a city, and for every square inch of the city at very high accuracy, that lends itself to several analytics, taking visualization to an absolutely different level, and bringing the ability to bring in a lot of supportive ecosystem on top of a foundational layer, on the basis of which outcomes that Indian cities have been trying to arrive at to ease the lives of the ordinary citizen is now possible. So, for example, I drove over here and I could see examples on where digital twin could impact, just the ride here to the GW office. So on and so forth. I think that the applications are many. And we have the ability now, thanks to the new policy and the policy environment in India today, and the Amrit Kal, which we all are expecting to happen, that we should be in a position to leapfrog and showcase that even within geospatial and in the era of digital twin, India is capable of leading innovation and adoption, which would be unique because our Indian urban ecosystem is unique. I mean, we have one of the largest and the most densest urban ecosystem in the world. we are given to understand that we are going to add one more, Australia or one more large country, in the Indian urban diaspora. So when we are faced with a situation like this, I see that using digital twin as a medium to achieve the outcomes that we all need as a society is the time has come.
So coming to Indian cities, you have a partnership with Survey of India for developing digital twins of all the smart cities. So how do you think would this initiative help in reimagining the future of urbanism and designing world-class urban spheres in India?
So we have to remember that the Survey of India itself has such a rich legacy. At that point of time, more than 150 years ago, they used what was the most apt technology to help map the Indian subcontinent, which helped in the development of India as we know it today. And I think, given their rich legacy, given the infrastructure that they are building, especially on the CORS network, we believe that we are in a position to leverage our talent. So we see, the interesting thing is that companies like us have been working on a worldwide level, and for the first time, we are now began to start working within India, thanks to the policy in question. And I'm going to take a leaf out of what Deepti mentioned, that what we did in Aadhaar is that we just leapfrog from basically we didn't need a paper-based ID. We straightway went to a digital ID. And I think we're going to do something similar in geospatial. We're going to leapfrog into what is the state of art and create a layer and create an example as to what India can do and what Indian talent can do in the geospatial side. We have to remember that a lot of companies in India are doing cutting edge work for countries worldwide and for companies worldwide. So why can't we do it for our own country?
If you have to briefly summarize the Genesis outlook for digital twins, what would it be?
So we have invested in creating a kind of constellation of sensors, and you'll be happy to know, Aditya, that we have now, by June, we should be finishing what we believe would be 25% of the urban economy of India. So we have imaged 1,500 towns and cities. So we have created the single largest library of imagery, which we are using for host analytics using computer vision. We are walking the talk here. We have, more importantly, several cities who are adopting us. I mean, there have been tenders floated, or there have been RFPs come out where we are, which we are now helping implement. So we are going to see over the next few months, not just a vision or a dream, but we are going to see reality. And I think that we are going to prove in the next few quarters that digital twin is indeed a reality within India. And some of the conversations we have been having with the ecosystem, I feel pretty confident that in a year to 18 months, we'll showcase to the world what digital twin can do.
That's a very
for cities in the world. So
very realistic timeline. Thank you so much for your very insightful views. It was a pleasure talking to you, sir.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to GW Prime Live for our very interesting panel discussion on open spatial data for industry development. I'm Ananya Narayan of Geospatial World, and I'm very pleased to host this session with my esteemed panelists. In today's rapidly evolving digital landscape, the strategic utilization of open data stands as a cornerstone for driving innovation, efficiency, and sustainable growth across various sectors. Open spatial data, distinguished by its accessibility and interoperability, has the potential to revolutionize traditional businesses and usher in transformative change. By democratizing access to geospatial information, organizations can unlock new possibilities, strive for more innovations, and foster collaboration among stakeholders. For this discussion, I am delighted to introduce our esteemed panelists, Mr. Alok Premnagar, Joint Secretary at the Ministry of Panchayati Raj, and Mr. Agendra Kumar, Managing Director of ESRI India, who bring in a wealth of expertise and insights to enrich our understanding on this topic. So, Mr. Alok, I would like to begin with you first. From your experience, could you elaborate on the government's vision and initiatives regarding the integration of open spatial data to enhance rural development and government effectiveness?
Thank you. Thanks for having me here. We had a Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra back in December and January, and the enthusiasm with which people embraced the idea is what witnessed in how many people would turn up. I was there in Gazipur and Balia. So if we've got to get there, it cannot happen without transformation of the rural landscape. Things should change. The tools that we have for achieving that is through Finance Commission grants, through a number of schemes. There's a thing that we do every year in Panchayat Raj, which is the preparation of Gram Panchayat development plans. There are also plans for blocks and Zilla Panchayats now. These plans need to have more spatial data inputs. To that end, there have to be case study, or there have to be specific tools that have to be developed, because the user is going to be the person in the village. We've tried to do that a little in Gram Manchitra, but a lot needs to be done. You can't be popping up questions to them that you can't expect answers to. So to that end, under Swamitva, we were able to create 1:500 scale maps, and these have been integrated on a portal called Gram Manchitra, but we need to do a lot more. So that is one direction where we are going, so that people are able to use this information. And also using Swamitva, we've also made an endeavor through a challenge in Inter-IIT Tech Fest, where we asked them to gamify this. We got some good responses. So they would turn the ORI images into simplified images, and then it would help people plan that. There were 18 entries. They were really good. So these are a couple of things that we are doing. The other thing is more intense, and it will need solid inputs. We've had help from AWS and Genesis in doing bits of it. That is the whole concept of spatial planning. So spatial planning needs to come in a good way if our villages have to be good aspirational habitats for people that people want to stay in. So we did some work with regard to that, but then one found that you can't do it in spite of the people. You have to do it for them. And for a person who's staying inside a village, who's not used to regulation, who's not used to planning, they need to be able to visualize this. In Bilkisganj in Madhya Pradesh, we had Genesis help us out with the preparation of a digital twin. And we had a workshop last month in February 22nd, 23rd. One saw what my village was going to turn into. And so immediately people were on board. We need to do that more and more. In Dive Anjur in Maharashtra, we had a more detailed exercise where several, through questionnaires, the SDG status of the villages were also determined. And so that would give you the shape of things to come, that one has to look at that and one has to devise inputs. These people are not going to come out and ask for this because they don't know. Yeah, they don't know what is it that they're seeking. So one needs to develop these and then make them see that, and then we'll need to find resources to carry that job out.
Thank you so much. Again, taking forward the discussion and the points that were mentioned by Alok, I wanted to touch base on how do you perceive the role of the private industry in complementing the government efforts to enhance access to open spatial data and drive innovation?
Right. So, because of the new policy environment, making open data, open geospatial data available for people, industries, private sector, even other government organizations has become very easy. Now, government departments are making effort to make that data available through in their own ways. Now, private sector can come in and make the task of access easier by setting up systems where data from different sources comes in a harmonized form so that it's highly usable, and also make it available for different users, both in government and private sector, through either access through data portals or have APIs so that they can be integrated in a variety of applications for using. So that's one of the things which private sector can collaborate with various government agencies in making the access easy.
So one of the things that has always been discussed when it comes to open data is ensuring equitable access. How do we ensure equitable access from an industry point of view and from a government point of view?
Yeah, so when we talk about equitable access, it means that the data should be available not only to government organizations, but also to small and large and startups and academia and NPOs and the whole ecosystem. There are a couple of important steps which have been articulated in the National Geospatial Policy. One is the availability of data through a unified geospatial interface. So it's a UGI. So basically, UGI will become a sort of a place where which will allow access of different data sets in a, I would say, very harmonized and easy manner. It will have a catalog of metadata which is available, and people can search, people can find out what is available, and then they can get access to it. Similarly, the NGDR, which is the National Geospatial Data Repository, that also will go a long way because that will eventually become a repository. Various themes from government organizations will become available through these two tools, which are going to be available as a result of the new National Geospatial Policy. So these two hopefully will make the data available in a very seamless and easy manner for all kind of users. And also the geospatial policy also says that whatever data has been created by using public money should be available to the public without any charges. So having that policy and having infrastructure like what will be available through UGI and NGDR will actually enable that easy access in a very democratic manner.
Thank you. Mr. Alok, your comments?
I was thinking equal opportunity for everybody would enable such a thing. So what we are looking to do in Swamitva is until the UGI interface is fully available, that on our portal against every village there would be a column which will help you download the information corresponding to that village. For that, I think Survey of India have already issued the expression of interest. It would take 6 to 7 months in developing, but we have got the information in respect of 185,000 villages, and you're all very smart people. I don't know if it is GeoTIFF or ECW or something, but on some format, the information would be available. And I think that is a fair effort in that direction.
Thank you. One of the important things is we learn best from case studies. We learn best from examples. So do you have any examples to share where open data has helped develop innovative solutions in both government and in other sectors? If you're looking at transport, agriculture, are there any good examples that you can share with us?
Yeah, definitely. I think agriculture is the area where things have been happening quite a bit. So a government published data sets like soil information. It's been there for a very long time. There are climatic information. Those layers are also published by government. These are open data. They've been in open domain for quite some time. So private sector entities and farmers, they have made use of this data which crop is suitable for which area. And I think everybody has benefited with that. Other thing is in the agriculture itself, if you look at applications like crop insurance, I think the data that government makes available, many states make the crop data available up to the land parcel level. So using that data, an insurance company who's insuring the crop there, they will have an idea that what is the age of the crop, and if a damage happens, what is the likely compensation. So they use this data. They may also do some survey work on their own using drones or otherwise, but this data, which is readily available from government sources as open data, plays a fairly big role in making the decisions.
Yeah. Mr. Alok, you mentioned that you had about 18 entries. Could you give us some examples of which of those entries actually resonated much with you?
So based on the density of residential units in a certain place, you would see the landscape turn into solid colors, and you would see the huts and all appear as cuboids, and the roads were in a separate legend. So from a drop-down menu, you would pick what are the things that you currently want to see. If you just want to see the occupation of the land parcel, then it would give you that. And if one were making a road, what kind of width would be possible, what kind of surface would be best for that. So people designed all that. And there were different categories of buildings that were also listed. The estimates of the building were built in. So if you provided them with the Gram Panchayat development resource, envelope, then one would have a real plan. And I see a future where the young people don't come into Gram Sabha meetings, that's a very typical thing that I've heard everywhere. We could get these people interested. You could prepare a GPDP on your pad, on your mobile phone or something. And in the Gram Sabha meeting that you're going to have, people could be competing with their proposals that they've prepared. So that is, and there were very interesting ones. A few, of course, tried to pull wool over our eyes. The drawing that was produced was not linked to the ortho-rectified images or not, but from IIT Roorkee, from IIT BHU, there were some pretty decent ones. Yeah.
Very interesting. So one of the important issues that often comes up with open data is people talk about interoperability. How do you think can we solve that challenge of interoperability when we talk about open data?
Well, so long as the data is created following certain standards, interoperability will be taken care of. So that's one simple answer. But in reality, it may not happen so easily. So there are so you get data from different sources today. You have drone data, you have satellite imagery coming in, you have data which is created through textual information, video feeds coming in. There's a whole lot of data coming in. Now, all this data can be integrated through certain geospatial platforms, which take care of interoperability to a large extent because these platforms adhere to certain standards, and this data, especially what comes from drone and satellite and aerial surveys, most of the data also adheres to certain standards. So it becomes easier to integrate and have it in one place and share that among different kind of applications, not only geospatial applications, but also non-geospatial applications, business applications. So that's possible through the platforms which are available.
Okay. As we come to the close of this session, if you would like to summarize in 3 words, what are the actionable steps that we can take as an industry, as government, to ensure that we can harness the full potential of open data for industry development? What would the 3 words be? Yes, please.
Have large hearts. We can't be rent seeking.
Make the data truly open. Don't hide it, because if you hide the data, there's no value of that. You get the value by sharing.
Point very well taken. Thank you so much for a very interesting discussion.
Hello everyone, this is Nivedita Mohanta. I welcome you back with another interesting conversation. Here with us we have Mr. Pramod Kaushik, who is the President and MD for Hexagon India, which is an IT and service company. Mr. Kaushik comes with with a 2-decade-long experience in the field of automation. Thank you for the.
Sure.
So our topic of discussion is autonomous systems for future India. India's transforming landscape demands advanced technologies, energy, infrastructure, mobility solutions, planning, and developing not just resilient but also smart cities, while the focus remains on sustainability and environment responsibility. In this changing landscape, we need autonomous systems to optimize resources, increase efficiency, rapid adoption of digital technologies. So my first question will be, recently we witnessed one of the worst train accidents in history, which happened in Odisha. And last year, Hexagon promised to deliver the world's first fleet of autonomous road trains. Do you think India is ready for that kind of change? Would the lives been saved had the train run on autonomous system?
Well, I think the two aspects to it. First is the safety piece, and the second is that are we ready for it or not? There are a lot of other safety without even going into the autonomy piece that which are really required even today in the existing systems. So I will answer it this way, that there are multiple technologies available today which can see the geometry of the track, which can see the ballast monitoring. You can see where the seepages happen, how the tracks have got deformed. And then these are very crucial things, which are really required. And the multiple technologies by using radars, which can be looking at it. There are systems by which you can keep on continuously monitoring the tracks. You can also look at when the rains happens, where there is any subsidence happening or not, even through you can take the satellite images. So taking the geotechnical, geodatic sensors and using, I would rather say, the imagery coming from the satellites, we can really make the railroad system safer. Now, coming on the autonomy piece, if there would have been, it's easy for me to sit here and say that, yes, if it was, collision avoidance system already into this system, these train, that accident might not have happened. But adopting the current collision avoidance systems for the rail network is a bit difficult. And I think India is taking that path, that we are trying to modify those technologies and bring into our rail systems. Now, coming on the railroad systems, these are nothing but 4 to 5 large wagons which are being driven on the road. Are we ready for it today? I think answer is yes. We need to just think innovatively. We have a very strong network of roads today, and we can really take, especially for the mines and some of the other heavy material which needs to be transported, it can be done. And I would rather say some of the technologies, especially my company has already got in Australia, very 120 railroad, to be supplied to the mining industry in Australia. So that's already in operation. And with such a nice network of roads today in the country, I think we can deploy those things in the coming time.
Like you mentioned, mining. Mining remains one of the important sectors that is fundamental to economic growth in India. Can autonomous systems revolutionize India's mining sector?
Yes. I would rather say it's already being used. When we're talking to the big mine operators and the big mine companies, we are seeing good amount of interest into this, especially being driven by ESG. Environmental safety is coming to be, environment as well as safety is coming as a very predominant, requirement today. And we have launched, I would say, the highest level of, level 9 collision avoidance system, fatigue, management, also alertness of the operators. And this level 9 means that there would be automatic braking happening in the mines. So if someone is very close or other equipment is very close, accidents would not happen. And this is drive-by-wire autonomous technology which has been adopted by Hexagon Autonomous Solutions that is being deployed into these. And there are some mines which are already using these, I would say, collision avoidance, automatic braking system of level 9. And I would say at least 4 big players in India are already talking to us that, we would like to deploy it. So I can really see, just because it's driven by the compliance, it's driven by the safety concerns, there is a good amount of requirement, and we already are seeing the interest. Coming on a smaller level, fleet management systems are in operation in the country for many years. That fleet management still gives a very good view that how is the map of the mine, where are you there, where is your vehicle, what's the best way to reach to when you want to remove the ore or the overburden, whatever you want to just go and pick that piece, this is already available. And I would rather say Coal India, which is the largest miner, is actually using in many of the mines, especially 7 mines we have been operating for last 10 years. And these are the good systems which have everything automated. But now the next generation of systems on a common platform have come, which starts from mine monitoring to mine operate to, or rather say mine exploration to mine planning to mine operate to mine maintain and mine integrate. All these things can be done on a common platform, and these are the systems which are already deployed outside, and India on the spatial and fleet management systems are there, and they're fairly very good.
So what do you think, what is India's readiness when it comes to adopting autonomous systems? Because it needs fast connectivity, cloud storage capacity, and infrastructure capability.
Of course, when I give the example of the mine, these mines have their own network of like communication network was set up only for that mine, and it was on-prem solutions which are deployed. Your question is now that is country ready for the autonomous solutions? I would say I think we are slightly far, but we can learn from what's happening outside. And what it requires is a very strong, I would say, high definition digital map. It requires the accurate position where you are. It requires actually a lot of our training of the algorithm using AI and ML, and then only it can go through. So today, I think that there is a work in progress globally. India can be, and India is a powerhouse in terms of the software, AI, and all that. ML, we are looking at it. But coming on the infrastructure, I think there can be a couple of things which can be done. We are not yet there, but all I would say, the cloud companies, they can be working with the private and public partnership can be done. Government can take this initiative. Some of the policies which are coming through now, which are on the anvil, which are under discussion, and they are going to be passed, I would say maybe after June, sometime, anytime. So that can be a very good enabling environment for us to get into this space. Cloud storage, the capacity, I think there's good amount of expansion happening. Are we yet there? I'm not very sure about it, but I think we can make a progress. But overall, as a scenario, skill development, government initiative, public-private partnership, some of these actions we can take to enable this piece, but I think we are still away from that piece to deploy in the country entire, I would say, autonomous vehicle or fleet of vehicles. But in a very controlled environment, we can do it in mines. We can do it in some campus like universities. We can try those things because you require a good amount of communication. 5G launch, which has happened, which reduces the latency, that's really also going to help for us to prove on, I would say, a very controlled fashion. We can try these technologies and then take it to a larger, full-blown scale.
Any message you would like to give to the entrepreneurs who are trying to get into the autonomous systems?
I would rather say that everyone is experimenting. We should, and we should not feel that India is not ready for it, because all the technologies which are available outside of India, they are being done here. Good amount of, I would say, startup ecosystem is there. Some of these startups can take up these very specific projects which are mission driven, and I would rather say that can take care of some of those needs. And why, if no one has done it outside, we can still do it in India. And I still say, let's start with mines, let's start with agriculture, let's start with university campuses. This can be done and taken care of.
Thank you so much for this insightful conversation.
Hello and welcome back to yet another interesting session. I'm your host Vaishali Dixit. Geospatial surveying is a scientific discipline which traditionally deals with the measurement, storage, manipulation, analysis, modeling, and presentation of geospatial data. In this session, we are here to discuss on surveying innovations for effective land governance. And to know more about this topic, we have with us Mr. Amit Saxena, Regional Sales Manager with Trimble. Amit, welcome to GW Prime Live.
Thank you, Vishali. I'm glad that you invited me for this session, for the inaugural session of GW Prime. It's a very exciting time to discuss about surveying technologies for with the land management or any infrastructure development. It's a very important time for us, and I'm glad that.
Yeah, as you very rightly said, Amit, and as we all know that surveying has always been crucial for land administration, mapping, and for figuring out the cadastre usage. In this era of hyper-fast connectivity and digital data, what are the surveying innovations that are out there?
Innovation has two impacts. One is that you create a framework for the innovation to be used, or you become a part of the framework which is already existing and innovate and let the framework complete the task. I think we are in both of them right now. The first thing is that there are 5 or 6 C's that are important. One is consistency, wherein the government of India has already established force network, so that provides consistency. Then you capture the data through different rovers in the field, different devices that are available in the field. The other third C is you collaborate with the teams that are working at different locations, regions. You bring the data together. Gone are the days when we'll wait for the surveyor to come back and we check the data. So that innovation is already existing, and I'm glad many companies, including large companies like Survey of India and LLTs, they're using this technology already, and it's part of their DNA. The next one is connectivity. You connect very quickly, whether it's the usage of 5G or many satellite systems being available to us, and they will continue to grow at a much rapid pace. And last but not the least, everything that we do for land has to be done either for forest or for construction or for land usage. So the important C is construction. So we become part of all the 5 C's, and right now it is not about capturing the data, but it is about capturing the data and then collaborating it very effectively. You capture the data, send it to the office, and in the office, if there is a gap in the data collection, in a real-time basis, we can provide the feedback to the field that okay, please go and change the data. Even the framework can be created in the office, wherein there are certain guidelines which are being put in, which will help us surveying field in the field to capture the data in the right manner. So we are providing integration of both software and hardware to collect the data more effectively. So we say that our data collection is reliable, repeatable, and highly accurate.
Thank you for very comprehensively elaborating on this topic. And Amit, your vast experience of more than 2 decades involves working at grassroots level with the customers, and that too providing surveying solutions to the SAARC region. And if we specifically look at India, India is a subcontinent with varied geographical features and rugged topography. How difficult is surveying in such situations, and what are the benefits of modern surveying methodologies and technologies?
Yes, keeping in mind with the Indian aspect, I think Trimble has done a lot of work. One is that one of the very simple technologies when we are working in a very vast network, it's very hard to capture the data, especially when it's a forest cover or a very difficult terrain to capture it. So we have made technology where through the algorithms you are able to, without being concerned whether the data will be collected, whether I will have to go back into the field, both in the field and in the office. There is no question in the mind of whether it is a surveying machine, company head, or even the design head. Even in the land mapping projects, the person who is actually viewing the data will have the reliability of the data that is being collected. So we have made innovation that helps you collect the data very easily, quickly, and accurately.
Any specific case study you would like to just touch upon?
So for example, in the earlier days, we had the kind of development we are seeing right now. We have multiple examples. So one of the examples right now, which is very relevant, is that our focus earlier was to build roads. Right now, it is building road, but ensuring that we have rideability. So, for example, the quality of road should be good. So we are able to measure that. So recently, there is a very innovative project that is currently being done in the state of Uttar Pradesh, wherein the machine control systems are getting the guidance from the GNSS device, and the kind of work there which is being carried out, and it is being done both day and night time, which was not possible earlier because it was a risk to the human who's working there in the field. There was number of passes that were done through the compactor which were very high, leading to losses. I think everything was was done in groups and silos. Right now, we can collaborate the data that is being collected on the ground to the final outcome of the. So that's a very good example that I can cite.
Yeah, I very agree to it. And with the world racing to build more regional navigation systems that would be very hard to temper or spoof, what would be the next gen of surveying support looks like?
I think that's where we have made our technology available for India, and it has been very widely accepted in the last 1.5 years. First of all, we made a very lightweight receiver, which is about 350 grams, being used across the country. It has got integration with the technologies which are acceptable, Android. Now you can collect data using your cell phone also. So that integration that we have made. So it makes easier, and all the satellite systems which are available right now, it is Indian satellite systems also, they are able to be they are able to capture the data on the cell phone itself. So the innovations are happening on day-to-day basis, but we are being pressurized to keep pace with the aspect for us, and we are committed to develop this technology over the period of time. We have added a lot of functionalities which are being appreciated and now being implemented in the field this way. So that's the innovation that we do.
Right. As we are talking of innovation and technology, integration plays a vital role in enhancing the same. So can you please throw some light on how can survey equipments be integrated with the cutting edge advances like connectivity such as 5G and analysis such as AI and ML?
So just to give you an example that when we talk about connectivity, it means connectivity of different devices that are being used in the field. We already enable it by, for example, if somebody is using a total station in the field, somebody is using a GNSS device, somebody is using a drone, somebody is using a mobile lidar, all the data can come together and sit in the central hub of our system, which can process the data and give the output to the consumers. So that is one innovation that is happening. On the ML and AI front, we have made a lot of effort in terms of making our output-based systems which are enabling for a better expected outcome. So, for example, in the city of Bangalore, there was a project done by Geospatial, wherein they did a survey through satellite and a manual survey was carried out, and they found only an error of about 3%, wherein the analysis of trees was done, and there was only error of 3%, which is like amazing. That's a very good example of machine learning and AI based working.
Yeah, that's great to know. And anything in addition to this, what we have discussed, you would like to add and let the audience know about?
Yes, I think one of the areas that we are specifically working on, the data has been collected, processed, but who all are the consumers to it? So road is one area where it is being effectively used. In the hills where the railway is doing a project, tunneling is developing heavily there, and we are also part of that collaboration process, wherein the tunnels are built with much more reliability and data sharing. And at the back end, the constructible model that we call, through the advantages that we have in our portfolio, whether it is Tekla, we are making and building an infrastructure which is like intelligent and also providing the right output at the right time, keeping in mind the quality as well as the environmental aspect of the expected outcome from all these.
Great. Amit, I know the discussion is really interesting, but the clock is ticking and we have to take a pause here. Thank you so much for coming. I know you have a very, very busy schedule with a lot of traveling coming up. So thank you so much for taking our time and coming to us.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Swati Mittal from Geospatial World. I'm glad to be in conversation with Mr. Dushyant Tyagi, who's the Chief Network Officer with Tata Power, and Ruba Banerjee, GIS Tata Power Head, on topic of the role of geospatial technology in convergence with pivotal technologies in ease of doing business. Throughout the afternoon, we heard from the technology providers, solution providers, government, multilateral, about how the adoption and why the adoption of technology is important. Here we have a user organization, one of the India's leading user organization, who has done the entire cycle of convergence of technology and adoption of technology and also implementing a technology at the ground level. So let's hear from the team itself. So Dushyant sir, the very first questions of your to you basically. So how you define the journey of Tata Power, how you have been able to successfully converge, execute, and implement the technology, and how you feel after working with convergence of technology, especially with geospatial technology, what kind of impact it has been able to create.
Yeah, thank you, Sati, for giving the opportunity to be here on this platform. So, Tata Power Delhi, since its inception, adopted whatever best technology the Europe or the most modern countries of the world are using. Let me start, say, SCADA. All our 90 grids substations are totally SCADA controlled, remote controlled. Whenever there is a breakdown, very remotely we are controlling all the substations. The ADMS, the integration of the distribution management system, or the OMS, the GIS, and the we are the pioneer in the implementation of the technology. So let me explain the usage or the in terms of how the consumers are affecting. Suppose a breakdown is happening in any area. So earlier, what was the pattern? Consumer was calling to the call center or intimating to somebody. Nowadays, due to the integration of all the system, say consumer connection number, the mobile number, and the where which particular electrical instrument that consumer is connected. So utility Tata Power DDL is able to know that this my particular consumer is not having the power supply and what type of fault is there. So our system is giving the prediction based on the past interruption or the integration. Say one transformer is tripping or there is a fault in the LT switch gear. So that way entire part is connected. And as I am saying that earlier, initially, say 10 years before, 15 years before, all the manual control was there. Due to this SCADA and ADMS system, now all the 90 grids of the Tata Power Delhi are unmanned. Earlier, 500 to 600 employees were being deputed there, manual operations, controlling. I have to switch on, switch off the light. So that technology has helped us to utility to give the prompt restoration or the minimum time restoration. And the customer is also getting the 24/7 power supply. And another thing I would say that yes, we are having good experience of the Delhi and similar technology we have implemented with the shortest possible time in our Odisha business. 3 years before that was handed over to Tata Power. So we are implementing the technology to give so that our customer can leverage the benefit, and that's why we are able to claim that 24/7 power supply is available. And the industry is, as we were discussing, our past colleagues or the participants were saying that the development or the infrastructure. So electricity is important, very important part of the to develop, to support the industry, to support the customer, to have the developed country. That way Tata Power is supporting.
Very nice. Thank you, sir. Ruba, question to you that how geospatial is playing a very crucial role when we talk about, especially in Tata Power, when we talk about the generation, transmission, distribution, how throughout it has laid an important milestone in this journey.
Right. So I'll probably focus upon Tata Power Delhi. We're into the distribution business. And like Mr. Tyagi said, so GIS acts as the fundamental rock bed information system based on which our ADMS operates. And it's not only the GIS system. So, you cannot have 5 soloists playing the right orchestra unless until they're on the same tune. So that's what we've been able to do, that we've been able to synchronize and utilize the data
scattered across various systems, have a data governance model on top of it, which is allowing us to reap the benefits that is expected. Otherwise, what happens at times is that you develop systems in silos, they're not integrated, and then you do a patchwork. And patches do not work for a long time.
Right.
So from the beginning, you should have a vision, and that is something that we had way back from 2005. So GIS was one of the fundamental systems that we implemented, and then came SCADA. So these were parallel, GIS and SCADA. ADMS came in 2016, and we are proud to say that we were the first Indian utility to implement an enterprise-wide GIS in 2005. We were the first to implement ADMS, second in the world, first in India.
Okay.
We are the pioneers. So with pioneering efforts comes responsibilities and learnings. So a lot of learnings has been part of this journey, and GIS typically is the one which is driving from our commercial connection management, technical feasibility for a new connection. So you talked about ease of doing business. So yes, my ease is when I'm able to restore power to the customer in the nearest possible time.
Right.
I'm doing ease of business when I'm giving the connection out in the nearest possible time. So these are the areas where GIS fits in very well.
In fact, with ease of doing business, Ruba, even World Bank indicator has ranked India as 22 in 2019, where it was ranked around 99 in 2014. So from there, it has come to 22 with ease of doing business in electricity.
Yes, and applying for connection in the time it takes to head out a connection is one of those parameters that defines your maturity at the ease of doing business. Yeah.
Right. So Dushyant sir, talking about, in this whole journey, we have discussed in length, other than even this, before this conversation, there have been times when you are in the field and you have to innovate, you have to converge technologies, because some of the specific problem statements are related to a specific region, a specific kind of project deliveries that you are doing. So what is a way forward, and what kind of innovation you think can be done by converging all the technologies? Because definitely one technology is not working alone. It has to be a gamut of technology which are at forefront and giving you an amplifier to it. So what you would say as a way forward could be?
So thank you. Let me start from the GIS itself. We implemented very initially in 2005, and whatever network nowadays Tata Power Delhi is laying, every proposal, every project we are taking, and that is helping you, which is the shortest possible route, where the already networks are there. And in the, say, AT&C, theft reduction of the power. So with the help of the GIS, because the connectivity, my customer is connected to which particular area, which particular pole, we are able to control the theft of the electricity. So that even we are identifying, we are planning to identify which particular phase. There are 3 phases in the electricity. Particular phase a consumer is connected, so that we can identify where are the pilferages there, what the problems are there. So the another, as you asked, the water, as I discussed, that we implemented long back the technology on the 11 kV or the higher voltage side.
Right.
Nowadays, we are working very aggressively on LT automation and low voltage automation. So suppose any individual customer breakers trips, we can remotely control. So that is very in the advanced stage. The battery storage system, definitely we are the first in the South Asia that Tata Power Delhi is having a 10 megawatt battery storage system. Whenever cheaper power is available, we are energizing, we are charging our battery, and whenever scarcity or the high rate of the power, we are discharging that. That way we are leveraging, we are taking the advantage.
So, sir, with this, so what is the action plan? So, since we also spoke about that, how Tata Power is also one of the pioneer when we are talking about renewable transition. So, how is that also shaping it up?
So renewable Tata Power, our parent company Tata Power Bombay, we are the second largest renewable power producer in the country. Currently, we are producing our total generation, 38% of the total generation we are at renewable. Tata Power is having very aggressive plans that by 2030, approximate 70% of the total generation will be the renewable. That way, and by 2045, whatever, because Tata Power is the mainly known for the generation of the electricity, we are very aggressively planning. Currently, 13 to 14 gigawatt of the power we are having renewable part. So that way, we are contributing to the sustainability, to the green power. And we are also planning, as you discussed, what new technology, green grid, complete green grid. So no oil in the, or the dry type transformers, no SF6 gas in the breakers. That we are procuring, because we are always doing the advocacy with the manufacturers or supporting them. Say smart meter. Another good new invention in this country is coming, smart meter. Not only the utility are getting the benefit, a customer will also getting that. What is my per day bills? How much is my particular time voltage, current, the usage, when my supply was off? And utility will also be getting the another data, what the data required for the utility to give the reliable or the theft free power. So that way we are leveraging the technology.
That's really incredible. So, Dhruva, with this such an incredible journey being so far, so what are the key learnings, if I may ask you, from implementing, adopting, innovating throughout from technology perspective? What's been the key learning?
Learning is very important, because see, I'll draw a parallel with the medical fraternity. So a doctor, you go to a doctor tells you that you have this medicine, you do this diagnostic, this is the consultancy, and that's what the technology providers and the consultants give us. But then they also say, the doctors, that please also do exercise, moderate on your diet. So discipline is the key word. So I think what needs to be kept in mind, because you might have the best of the technologies, best of the consultants in the world, unless and until as a utility or as a user group, you're having the discipline and the firmness and the change management adoption, because technologies are new to everybody. And with the utility scenario, the diversified workforce, you've got youngsters coming in, you've got people who are really, are now going to retire, but then they're actively contributing to everything. So how to align them, how to use them, make them use technology, how to align all the business processes so that the show goes on well. So that has been our key takeaway, that you have to put a lot of effort in discipline, user training,
Right.
and the works of change management. Then definitely you should define a kind of a KPI, because if you don't have a number to chase, things do not, you cannot measure things. So how do you give a number to GIS data quality? So defining of a JDQI is, for example, one thing that we're trying to do, a maturity model of GIS itself. So we're like Mr. Tyagi said, that we're implementing GIS in every utility now. You've got Odisha, 3 discoms in Odisha, 4 discoms in Odisha, 1 in Delhi, and in Mumbai. We're trying to define a uniform GIS maturity model that gives you a pointer that where you are, where you need to work upon, based on resource and infra availability, sustenance, end cases, use cases. So these combinations, we're trying to do that.
So, Dushyant sir, we are not left with a lot of time, but still, I would like to ask you. We have our entire fraternity of geospatial technology here. One use case study that you could, just very briefly can describe, especially the one which you always fascinatingly tell about, the drones that you made up when you were surveying it. So, just one case study for the industry.
Thank you. When 3 years before, I was posted at Odisha business, and there is a lot of agriculture connections. So the major challenge was, and near the Bay of Bengal, because most of the time water is there. So the major challenge was with the utility, that how to take the reading of the meter. So every time, 5 to 6 months in the rainy season, we were not able to even take the reading or to supply the bill. And we thought, we integrated, we just discussed that let us use the drone. So yes, drone, how we implemented Bluetooth energy meter. So the Bluetooth BLE meters we installed, and with the initially we started with the drone, then we tried, we discussed with the another manufacturer, and he supported us with the hexacopter that is running with a speed of 60 to 70 kilometers, and say 500 connections we are feeding, and within 5 to 10 minutes all readings are coming with so accuracy, even the decimal point, and that has turned around. Within the 3 years span of that utility, that is a benchmark in this country, utility was at the loss level of 26%, and now this year that has touched 11%. So this technology, the drone technology, that has really helped us, and we are the first in this country that meter reading, another the maintenance, the other part with the help of drone, the utilities were doing, but the meter reading through with the help of the drone, the Tata Power Northern Odisha was the first utility, and that has helped us significantly.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dushyant sir. Thank you so much, Ruba. It was really great to have you. Thank you.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Shailesh Nayak, director of the National Institute of Advanced Studies, was a distinguished scientist and secretary at the Ministry of Earth Sciences, Government of India. He has been providing leadership for programs related to the science of climate change, weather services, polar science, ocean science and modeling, ocean survey, resources, and technology. He had set up an HPC system having 1.1 petaflops capacity for weather and climate research and operations. He had restructured meteorological activities in the country and thus improved weather and hazard-related services. The state-of-the-art tsunami warning system that provides tsunami advisories to the Indian Ocean Rim countries was set by him and developed in just 2 years. He pioneered the development of algorithms and methodologies for the application of remote sensing to the coastal and marine environment and generated a baseline database of the Indian coast and developed services for fishery and ocean state forecast.
Very warm welcome and welcome again to GW Prime. You've been listening to various conversations and panel discussions, and now I present you Dr. Shailesh Nayak. Dr. Shailesh Nayak is a friend. We have worked together nationally, internationally, and he has been one individual who has plethora of experience, rich knowledge, and has been at the leadership position in various organizations. We'll actually get through his journey. This conversation is more about Dr. Nayak and his beliefs, his values, and his contribution to the national and international community. So far, we've been focusing a lot on geospatial. Let's go towards the fraternity of space and oceans. Dr. Nayak, very welcome to GW Prime.
Thank you very much, Sanjay. It's always a pleasure to be in geospatial world. And I think, first of all, I must compliment you and your excellent team to see the journey for last 27 years, which I have seen myself as well. And the way it has grown, I think it is real pride. And I'm really proud for you and your team to take this not in India but internationally. So my congratulations, and I wish that you will scale better heights.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, and thank you on behalf of my colleagues and all our partners and ecosystem stakeholders. Dr. Nayak, we have heard stories about various scientists who actually came as the first generation space scientists. Each one of them is unique. What's your story?
Actually, my younger days, I was about 4 years old. I used to stay with my grandfather in a small village called Daho, where he was doing social service. So I spent 6 years there. And 57, the Sputnik was launched.
Yep.
And at that time, there was no AC, so we used to sleep outside. And there was no much light, so you can see thousands of stars and Milky Way and everything. And I saw the Sputnik.
Wow.
She showed me the Sputnik. And that was something I was fascinated at that age because I used to see stars everywhere, every day. But this is a moving star.
Yeah.
And I could not really comprehend at that time. But it put some things in my mind that this is something which is very key. So in 78, when I got an offer from SAC, I grabbed it. And that's how it started.
So that one star, moving star, got your eyes, caught your eyes. So when you land up in Ahmedabad in Space Application Center in the mid of all those renowned scientists, how was that feeling?
The culture at that time was unique. We never had that problem that Professor Yashpal or they all treated as it all normal. In fact, now probably might have changed, but from director to scientific assistant to fuel or anybody who is standing in same queue for having their lunch.
Mhm.
Or tea. So we were never had that kind of issue. And the one incident I would like to say
large data set come, it used to stagger. So it was not coming in real time. So that is not much useful. So we did with inset. Same thing is for the sea level data. The bottom pressure recorder, which is placed at 3,500 meter below, can measure a change of a 1 millimeter at the surface. Okay, so the algorithms which you have to put into this is a very accurate and extremely good. But the more challenge is in the sea, the communication is through acoustic, which is very difficult. Unlike you can communicate to moon much simpler, but to communicate sea bottom is. So you need to put another buoy at the top, which will communicate with this, and both should be in a line with that so that you get that. So that was another, and get this data in real time. Once you get data in real time, at that time in India, there was no real-time seismology. That means the earthquake data will come and you will get information after a couple of hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. So we had to introduce the real-time seismology, and that one young girl built, the open source softwares are available, but you have to do, she did it. And after we did it, it was from a Germany GFZ software. And she found so many bugs and those things. And then they came to GFZ, people came and sorted out and gave the latest version, which they have not given to anybody else.
I think Dr. Saraj did not stop there. So he went on to be the secretary to the government of India of the Institute of Earth Sciences, which is responsible for oceans and weather and atmospheric sciences and many more things. So what was your key connect between science and society? Now you are in the Ministry of Earth Sciences, which is active on that. So it's not a space, it's on the ground. So what was your connect between science and society?
Actually, the Earth system science actually came into existence in 90s. And there is a connect with this space. When the satellite started moving, we realized that many processes are global, either in atmosphere or in ocean or snow and ice, or a regional. So earlier we thought that there is nothing like global process. So the satellites provided input that Earth is a single system, and all the mass and energy transfer which is taking place within each component, say atmosphere or ocean or a snow and ice, or across they are all linked together. So Earth science and the space is very connected. Third thing is the Earth science is primarily for the society. So the social science also comes into picture. So Earth science is nothing but space science, Earth science, social science, and then two more things, because all this should be economical, so economics and cognition. So all these three comes together. So the agenda which we made for the Earth science has a three components. One, we should concentrate on discovery of a new phenomena or exploring new areas like what we were exploring in Antarctica or in the deep ocean or in Himalaya. So that is one. Second, understand the interaction of a different processes, Earth system processes, and with the people, activities of anthropogenic activities. And once you understand whether you can model, and once you can model, whether you can give a forecast. Once you give a forecast, the third component comes that how this knowledge which we have generated can be used for the public. So this is how it was designed. And in each service, we also compute that what is the benefit, like the fishery service, which you mentioned. I didn't elaborate on that. Does several things. One, the economic benefit is about 17,800 rupees per trip, and it puts about 0.16 ton carbon dioxide less into the atmosphere. So that is also the environmental benefit. And the third is the search time is reduced and the fishermen come back much earlier, so their social life also has improved.
Dr. Naik, I recall our long discussions on the blue economy and most in 2010. We had series of discussions on blue economy. The two major programs which we wanted to run at that time was one was blue economy and second was national GIS. Both of them are seeing the light of the day now, with the government of India announcing the blue economy, deep ocean initiative towards the geospatial. How do you feel that how much access to your opinion we may have lost in the society and economy by delaying this by 50 years?
In GIS, yes. I think if you would have done that in 2012, it would have been a different story. But as far as blue economy is concerned, I think even at that time, that idea was very nascent. And though nobody said, don't do it, but to convince various stakeholders, it took almost 5 years. And after that, once they are convinced, the kind of process which it has to undergo took another couple of years. So now only it has been seen the light. And still the policy is yet to come out. But the draft policy is already there. So that should not be a major issue. So even if it is little late, I think we are not really too much delayed by this. In the world over, if you see, this is going on. Only Norway and some countries, they are more dependent on the ocean, unlike other countries.
Yeah, I would agree with you. Recently, I was in Portugal, my first ever World Ocean Summit being organized by economists. And I saw series of announcements on the blue economy and ocean mapping and ocean understanding is on the highest priority of the new geopolitical world order. Taking forward, Dr. Naik, you have afterwards gone to National Institute of Advanced Studies, one of the most premier research institutions, and had the legacy of having these directors as one of the top scientists of the world. How do you feel like that?
Yeah, it's a really major challenge because each of my previous directors had excel in one of the field, either atomic energy or space or aerospace or science and technology. So that was a big challenge. How the Earth system scientists.
It's quite obvious to add another, such little thing that added.
So my job was more to see how I can bring the science and technology and social science together to address some of the sustainable development goals. And if you see these goals, there are three different types, where one relates to science, and by and large science and engineering. Second relates to social science, poverty or gender and all. And third relates to human aspects, justice, human right. Actually, SDGs 16, not focused by many of the people, but in my view, that is one of the most important. So we have people working in these different areas. I give you example like security, which is in 16, 17, the security and justice is talked about. The Japan invested very heavily in economic but did not invested in security. And today you can see that they have a difficulty. Russia invested heavily on security but didn't bother much about economy. They are also in a trouble. So
It's a judicious balance which you have to bring in.
So yeah, so you can't say that if I am economic power, nobody can do anything to me, or I am a security defense supreme, then nobody can do anything. It's not like that. So this kind of analysis, which we have been doing, that how each conflict can tell us about what we should be doing. And we are now analyzing each conflict. Actually, every week, there is a world this week, there is a conflict weekly. There are several such, which provides you where what is happening. And now, once you know that whether we can give some kind of a forecast that this is what likely to happen in this region because this is what is happening. Like in Pakistan, was feeling that this will happen. It is a lot of things are happening, which is that they themselves are getting into problem of a terrorism.
Dr. Naik, I don't know how many of you know that, but when the government of India needed the support of a transition leadership in ISRO, they again loaded your shoulders. So you being the chairman of Indian Space Research Organization as well. So when you walked into 1978 in Space Application Center, and when you walked into Bangalore as the chairman of the institution, how nostalgic was that feeling?
So it was really, I mean, I felt very comfortable there, and I was very short time, but we took a lot of decisions, and Shivan and Somnath were having very important responsibility at that time, and we used to have messages every day evening and whatever needs to be done. I am quite familiar with the system as such, so it was very easy for me to get there and get out also.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Naik, and this has been a great conversation with you, and looking at your journey from space to ocean to earth sciences to social sciences to economic sciences. I think that is what is all about the ecosystem. As I said at the beginning, in the morning, that it starts with society and it ends with society. And Dr. Naik has been very, he's one person who always believed, let's not wait for perfection, let's do it. Because you start doing it, then you actually get into various kinds of, the opportunities and challenges. And rightly so, the government of India has bestowed on him the all-important civilian award, Padma Shri, and we all congratulate you for that, sir. Thank you very much. Yeah, so I welcome Ananya for another 5 minutes, and we'll conclude this meeting in 5 minutes. Yeah.
First of all, I would like to thank everyone for being here with us today on our Foundation Day, our 27th Foundation Day. As an organization, it has been a very empowering, a very transformational journey for us. And we have been transitioning year in year, trying to do much, much more for geospatial industry every single day. I thank the leadership of Sanjay, Anu, and the team members that we have here. I thank all of you because you've been part of our journey. You are the ones who drive us to do better, to innovate, and to go further. With this, today we are announcing, apart from the launch of the GW Prime Live, of which discussions you all were part of, we are announcing the launch of the Geospatial Resource Platform, a first resource platform which shares information on geospatial industry, users, and case studies. This is a platform that has been developed over the past 1 year, but has taken into account our expertise of 27 years. We are proud to bring this platform to you today on behalf of Geospatial World, and we would like to give you a short glimpse of what this platform entails. Thank you.
In a world driven by data, the geospatial industry stands as a cornerstone of innovation and progress. Yet, accessing comprehensive information on the geospatial industry, its offerings, user profiles of customers utilizing technology, and insightful case studies has often been a challenge. What if there was a solution? A platform that provided everything you need to thrive in the geospatial ecosystem. Introducing the Geospatial Resource Platform by Geospatial World, an exclusive information database of the geospatial industry spanning from technology providers to users, featuring the best case practices, all presented in an immersive and interactive map format. The platform offers a comprehensive data repository on customized templates, facilitates the generation of actionable insights, and grants access to a meticulously developed database spanning 25 years, with the goal of maximizing the geospatial industry's potential. Whether you are an organization considering expansion, a user seeking tailored information, or a policy organization looking to inform effective policies, the Geospatial Resource Platform has something for everyone. Let's delve deeper into some modules that truly make the Geospatial Resource Platform a game changer. The Company Profile module serves as a comprehensive repository of geospatial technology providers, from OEMs, service providers, to solution integrators, offering insights into their expertise, specialization, and sectoral focus. It's more than just a directory. It's a strategic tool for informed decision-making and partnership building. The User Profile module is a treasure trove of data about end users who leverage geospatial technologies. From government agencies to private enterprises, this module provides invaluable insights into user preferences, needs, and engagement across different sectors and technology preferences. The Case Studies module offers a glimpse into the transformative power of geospatial technologies through real-world projects. Each case study not only highlights innovative solutions, but also demonstrates the tangible value they bring in terms of return on investment, sustainable development goals, and more to various industries and communities. The Geospatial Resource Platform, the ultimate information resource hub, driving growth, collaboration, and understanding of the geospatial ecosystem.
I would like all of you to please visit this platform. It is live. We have started with 2,700 industries across the globe, 2,500 user profiles, and up to 1,000 case studies. And we will be populating this over the next couple of months. It is a repository where you will find all the information that you look for otherwise on other platforms. This is one-stop shop for all the data that you can get. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed the day today. Thank you for being with us here. And we have tea and coffee upstairs. We request you to please
go upstairs, have tea and coffee, and then join us for celebrations in Sarovar Premier in Noida.
Hello, dear viewers. I am Nivedita Mohanta, Senior Assistant Editor, Geospatial Media, and your newscaster for today. Now onwards, GW Bulletin, our latest media offering, gets more interactive and immersive. We will also beam it live across geographies. A new avatar designed for the world on the go and for the specially curious minds. Like always, we aim to capture the pulse of the latest happenings. Let's start the bulletin. Hitachi Energy has won an order from SP Energy Network to design and deliver a first of its kind power quality solution to stabilize the grid and boost the flow of renewable energy from Scotland to England, enabling the addition of more renewables into the grid and facilitating the phase out of fossil fuels. Deloitte and Intel have announced a major expansion of their alliance to help enterprises around the world deploy their AI solutions cost efficiently with the latest hardware and software optimizations. These new offerings aims to address the growing needs as the marketplace evolves from experimenting with AI to scaling implementations for distinct use cases that deliver real value. This collaboration can help clients meet and exceed their performance requirements and budget targets by shifting AI workloads to a more cost-efficient architecture. Adani Green Energy plans a massive investment of around INR 2 lakh crore at its Khavda Renewable Energy Project site in Kutch, Gujarat over the next 5 years. The group's renewable energy plans are the most ambitious by any corporate in the country, which is targeting to generate 500 gigawatt of electricity from non-fossil sources by 2030, as part of a broader plan of achieving net zero emissions by 2070. NASA has awarded Venturi Astrolab and its teammates Axiom Space Inc. and Odyssey Space Research a contract to advance the development of the Lunar Terrain Vehicle, which will help Artemis astronauts explore more of the moon's surface on future missions. Astrolab's contract is worth up to $1.9 billion. Collectively, the three contract winners may be awarded tasks over the next 13 years with a total potential value of $4.6 billion. Google announced its first custom-built ARM processor called Axion. The company claims that the processor offers 30% better performance than other ARM-based instances from competitors like AWS and Microsoft. Google also said that the chip offers 50% better performance and 60% energy efficiency than comparable x86-based instances. The Research Institute for Innovation and Sustainability and the SatNav Africa Joint Program Office have signed a working agreement to develop their collaboration further. The aim is to raise broad awareness about using space-based data to meet development goals. Furthermore, the collaboration expands the Africa Earth Observation Challenge reach to a more diverse group of African space startups and link these space actors to Africa's broader space innovation ecosystem. Tata Advanced Systems Limited, India's leading private sector player for aerospace and defense solutions, and Satellogic Inc., a leader in sub-meter resolution Earth observation data collection, has successfully deployed TASL's TSAT-1A satellite into space aboard the Bandwagon 1 mission with SpaceX's Falcon 9 rocket launched from Kennedy Space Center, Florida, USA. Microsoft has announced plans to open an AI hub in the heart of London, where it will work on language models while collaborating with other Microsoft teams, as well as partners such as OpenAI, said Mustafa Suleyman, EVP and CEO of Microsoft AI, in a blog post on Sunday. Bengaluru-based space tech startup Satshore has raised an undisclosed capital as a part of its Series A funding round, co-led by Baring Private Equity Partners India and Promise Ventures. TransUnion also backed the company in the round of minority stake. The funding enables shot sure to expand its reach and impact, driving greater financial inclusion for farmers, financial institutions, and other stakeholders within the agriculture value chain. Spire Global, a leading global provider of space-based data analytics and space services, announced an agreement with Hancom in Space for Sejong 2 and Sejong 3, two additional satellites with Spire Space Services. Under this agreement, Spire will build and operate the satellites, expanding the capabilities of Hancom 1. Together, these satellites will form a constellation for Korea's first 3 satellite remote sensing image data service. EVA announced that it is expanding its presence in Europe with a new automotive center of excellence in Germany to support its growing momentum with automotive OEM customers. Additionally, autonomous vehicle industry expert Axel Jörn has joined the company as head of engineering in Germany and will lead the COE. The COE was created in response to growing interest from the automotive market in EVA's unique frequency modulated continuous wave technology. Fleet Space Technologies announced the successful deployment of its next generation Centauri 6 satellite on SpaceX's Bandwagon 1 mission, marking the latest milestone for Fleet Space after a period of exponential growth and delivery of multiple innovative breakthroughs in the global space and mineral exploration sectors. Sierra Space has launched the Eclipse satellite bus line tailored to meet the diverse needs of modern space missions such as Earth observation, satellite servicing, mobility, logistics, and communication. It is designed for various orbital missions, including low Earth orbit, medium Earth orbit, and geosynchronous Earth orbit, featuring integrated rendezvous, proximity operations, and docking capabilities, and full 6 degrees of freedom controls. Velocity is a fully fuelable system that enhances the accessibility and dynamic nature of space operations. The Indian Institute of Technology, Roorkee, has signed technology transfer agreement with Permonix Global Technologies, Vadodara, Gujarat, India, for licensing of 3 innovative environmentally sustainable technologies. The patented technologies, EED, setup eliminates silica issues and solid waste generation commonly encountered in conventional lime-based causticization techniques, along with continuous cogeneration of hydrogen gas, the source for clean energy generation. PDRL, a leading software company, has introduced a certification initiative to provide professionals with a unique opportunity to gain a deep understanding and mastery of Aeromeg platform, giving them a distinctive competitive advantage in the drone industry. PDRL's Aeromeg platform, combined with its comprehensive certification program, equips professionals with the knowledge and skills necessary to excel in this rapidly evolving field. Thank you.